is muted. So, can you just please let me know if you can hear me in the chat box? Please let me know if you can hear me in the chat box. Please let me know if you can hear me in the chat box. Let's see. Hello? Hi. Let's see. Okay, I think I can hear myself from the test. 1 second. Guys on TikTok, can you hear me in the chat box? Can you hear me? Please let me know in the chat box. Please let me know in the chat box if you can hear me loud and clear. So I think we can begin. Please share the live so we can reach more people. Okay. Welcome, and those in the celebrating the Eid al-Fitr, Eid Mubarak to all of you. You cannot hear me. Okay. Let's see. Guys on TikTok cannot hear me. One second. Wait, let's fix this. How can you not hear me? Ah, I was muted. Okay. All right. Now I believe you can hear me. Guys on TikTok, yeah? You can hear me now? Fixed. Perfect. Yay. Thank you. All right. Thank you for bearing with me as I try to fix the small technical glitch. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your confirmation. All right. So today's live, before I begin, let me just introduce myself. My name is Pam, and we are running Microlearning by Tricor. And today, welcome to our live. What we're gonna do is we're gonna work on we're gonna try to learn how to do basic Excel data cleansing. Okay. So if you can please share the live so we can reach more people before we actually start to dive in to the different topics that we have prepared for you today. Yeah, what you're seeing right now on your screens, all right, what you're seeing right now on your screens, it's actually this one is actually a test data, okay, that I generated via AI just to show you guys how you can go ahead and clean Excel data, okay? So when in our day-to-day life, because that's what we do, by the way, Microlearning by Tricor, we provide services, right, that is actually practical. We are not a learning company, okay? We provide services that are actually practical. We try to bring Excel to you in a way that is relevant to you. All right? So, my profession is actually centered in human resources. I'm a project manager in human resources field by profession, and right now I'm working on employee relations. So usually on a day-to-day basis, I work with data like this one that you're seeing on the screen. Thank you for sharing the live, management station. Thank you. Okay, so this is my day-to-day reality, right? I get messy files like this one, and I try to turn it into something that my management, that my team, that everyone can actually understand. Okay? And before I can do that, I have to work through with this tracker. Okay, I have to make the data correct. I have to ensure that the data is cleaned and it is ready for the next step. All right. So, what we're trying to do right now is we're gonna try to clean this data to make it report ready. Okay, that is a term that I actually use to make it report ready. And we're gonna work with several data cleansing tools in today's live. Okay, we're gonna learn. To those who just joined us, welcome and thank you for joining us today. Please go ahead and share the live or follow us so you can always be notified when we do these things. Okay, so the goal is we want to turn this inconsistent raw file, this inconsistent data, into a clean report ready data set. Okay, if you have ever received an Excel file full of messy names, full of broken emails, full of missing mixed date formats, duplicate rows, this live session is actually for you. Okay, so stay until the end. All right, now let's gonna go ahead and dive in to what really are we fighting here. Okay, what is the actual problem in this data set, right? Hi Saj986, thank you for joining us today. Thank you. All right, so now let's gonna go ahead and dive into what we're actually dealing here today. Okay, number one, if we're gonna look at this employee ID column, we have mixed ID formats. Okay, that's number one. Guys, if you have questions or if you want to answer, join into the discussion, please go ahead and type it into the chat box. We would like to encourage interactive learning today. Okay, so number one, if anything that you notice that needs to be fixed in this data sheet, comment it in the chat box. Okay, first, you see here the employee ID is actually in mixed format. Okay, this tells me, number one, if you're gonna think of it as someone who's doing the data cleansing, okay, yes, probably you can count this employee ID, based on the rows that are filled, but how sure are you that number one, what you're counting is correct, and number two, there are no duplicates? Okay, because if there are duplicates, then it will make your numbers big in a way that of course you don't intend, right? Because you want to always show the correct reports to your management. So that's number one. We are trying to fight standardization rules in employee ID. Okay? Next, if we move to the next column, which contains the full name, you will see here that there is an inconsistent text case. Okay? We have those that are written in uppercase. We have those written in lower cases. Probably it might have extra spaces, right? Somewhere in between them. So we're gonna fix that as well. Next, if you move to the email address, same thing applies, right? Missing, you see here, we have several typo errors. We have at, fixed text case once more. Next, we have inconsistent mobile number format. All right, you have here the one that includes country code. You have without country code. We need to standardize this text patterns. Okay, if you move to the next column, there are department naming convention variances. Okay, probably, as this is a test data, let's assume that probably the team who filled this out is working off of their own, right? And there are no set standardization rules, which should be there for a reason, Because if it's not there, this is what happens. You get messy data. Okay? Next, we have location variances as well. So you have here Abu Dhabi, you have AUH, you have Abu Dash Dhabi, DXB. Really, really, really messed up data. One thing, another item that we need to fix is the date of joining. You see, different formatting. Next is the salary. It's stored as text, right? And different formatting as well. You have here with AED, you have here without AED, you have here with decimal point, you have without decimal points. Status. Okay, you have on leave, active, resigned, inactive, terminated, probation, again, messed up data. We have, I think, blanks and missing values. You see, if you see here, this employee right here, blank monthly salary. This one is showing as on leave, but without a manager, right? What else? I believe we have duplicates in this. Probably exact or near duplicates, right? And if you scroll to the right, okay, the notes is also not standardized. Okay, we have urgent, we have NA, we have blanks, we have what else, what have you, right? You have here performance rating, you have here visa expiry, and again, dates. Okay, so what can we do with this data, right? What can we do? We need to clean this because and I believe this is a reality. You know, this is really a reality for many of you who are here in our live right now. I believe this is a reality for many of you. Yeah? Yes, Babake, you can use Power BI, but since we're doing basic data cleansing, we're gonna do how can we use Excel formulas, right? To to cleanse the data. So that is what we're gonna show today. Okay? Alright. First things first, I want to apply duplicate conditional formatting to highlight duplicate rows. Okay? Very basic, and we've done a session on this one. We can use duplicate values. This is an out-of-the-box conditional format for Microsoft Excel. Right? So let's see if you have conditional or if we have duplicates in employee IDs. In many cases, employee IDs, especially those working in human resources, admin, office management, employee IDs are the singular unique identifier that is tied to an actual employee. So in this case, the way that I think about it, and let me know if you agree, the way that I think about it is if we find that there is a duplicate employee ID here, then we can assume and we can check if it's an actual duplicate or if it is a typo error, typographical error in entering or in typing the employee ID itself. Okay? How are we gonna do this? Yes, Power Query is also useful, yeah. But again, we're doing the basic today, so we're gonna go ahead and do inside Microsoft Excel. Okay, conditional formatting, highlight cells rules, and duplicate values. We want to highlight duplicate values. You see here? I did not expect it. Okay, by the way, I did not check this data before going live. I just generated it via AI and then, put it in the live itself. So, yeah, I did not expect that there are duplicate datas. There are duplicate IDs. Okay. What are we gonna do now? Okay, we need to check this red boxes here. If you're new in Excel or if you're a fresher and using Excel for the first time, you might actually do what I'm doing right now, right? You might scroll down and see, trying to find which ones are duplicates, manually. But an easier way to do that is to actually use the filter function. Okay, how can you use the filter function? On your keyboard, you can press Ctrl Shift L. Alright, let me type that in the chat box. 1 second. Control plus Shift plus L lets you apply filters. Okay? Another way is, if you want to do the long method, or if you want to know how to do it inside the Excel ribbons itself, go to Data, and then there is Filter, right here. Okay, click on Filter, and these little small arrows appear out of nowhere. Alright, so just go ahead and what we're gonna do is we're gonna check. We're gonna filter by color. Okay, you see here, filter by color. Alright, we asked Excel to highlight in red the ones that are duplicates. So we're gonna do that. You see here, you have 1006. You have here row 7 and row 254 contains the same employee, the same person, right? Employee 1013, Noor, and row 259 also contains the same person. So what are we gonna do? You have the option, if you are sure which row is correct, then you have the option to delete the one that is duplicate. Okay, and that is one way of cleansing your data basically. So you see here, let's see, 1006. Okay, you can clear, you can delete, that is fine. 1028, let us assume that the ones that are up top are actually the correct data. Okay, 1028, you can also delete. Notice I am not deleting the entire row. I am only deleting the ID number. And as I delete, for example, this one, employee 1090, as I delete whatever it is, you see here, the highlight, the cell highlight actually disappears. And that means that there are no other duplicates for that particular employee ID. Okay? Next, 1145, 1201, 1013, 1056, and 103. I did not delete the entire sheet or the entire row. I only deleted the ID numbers at this point. Okay, at this point. Okay. Let's remove the filters. Again, you can remove the filters by pressing Ctrl Shift L or going back to data and clicking on filter once more, like what I'm doing here on the screen. Alright? That's number 1. Another way, let me undo everything that we have done so far. Okay. Another way to see if you have employee ID, for example, and what we did right now for the conditional formatting is we have relied into the employee ID as a single unique reference to identify if there are duplicates. Okay? But there is another thing that you can do. We can go ahead, you see here, how many digits are there, right? How many digits are there in each of the employee numbers? Okay, some employee numbers are 6 digits, and it's all numbers. Some of the employee numbers, and it will depend on your company, right? But some of them have 4 digits, 5 digits, And this particular data set, I noticed that all of them here, we're looking at employee ID. Okay, welcome to all who just joined us. Thank you for joining us and for following us. Please go ahead and share the live so we can reach more people. What we're trying to do now is to actually try to do basic Excel data cleansing. Again, this is inside Excel. For our advanced audiences, you can use Power BI, you can use Power Query. Okay, and inside Power BI, there's also Power Query. So I am thinking Power Query is the real legit single answer to this one, especially if you're doing it on a day-to-day. But that is for advanced. If you're just trying to still learn Excel and if you're feeling the daily pain of working with data like this, stay. Because this is how you do it manually. Okay? Next, I noticed in this employee ID that all of the employee IDs are actually 4-digit numbers. And the only difference is the prefix. Is it E? Is it EMP? EMP? Some of them does not have prefix, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to try to find out. I'm going to teach you another way. We're going to do insert. Okay, let's insert another column. And let's name this as unique ID. Alright? What we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the prefix. Okay? And we're only gonna, since we have already reviewed the data, right? And we are convinced that the employee data or employee ID is made up of 4 unique digits only, number digits. We're gonna capitalize on that. Alright? What we're gonna do is first remove, well, we can go ahead and not tackle the extra spaces right now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the prefix and then leave it with the numbers. Okay? 1 second, guys. Someone is just... Okay, while we do this, go ahead and share the live, please. And to those who just joined us, my name is Pam from Microlearning by Tricor. And this is what we do every single day. We fix Excel data. We fix Excel formulas. And in the process of it, we want to also reach more people. And make everyone confident in using at least basic Excel. I'm gonna show you something. Okay, let me just go ahead and open it. Where is it? Okay. No, this is... Okay. Share the live, guys. Share the live. Okay. Alright. IDs. Okay. We can use left or right formula. Okay. Left and right formula is actually one of the text formulas, as we call it, inside Excel. Okay. And it's very useful in cleansing the data. Let me just open. Because what I'm also doing is I'm also preparing handouts that we can distribute to everyone, you know, and I'm looking for my formula handouts now so I can show you, but I cannot seem to find it. Anyway, let me see my drive. Let me see. Okay, wait guys. Because I really want to show you that handout that I prepared. Okay. It's like a small cheat sheet of most used Excel formulas. And it's totally free. You know, we really prepared it so we can give it out in sessions, during sessions like this. So I'm trying to find it so I can show you. That is a presentation that I prepared. Okay, I found it. I hope you can see. Let's try to 1 second. I will put it in the screen. One more. No, I cannot do global search, Dix, because it's in Canva. I still haven't exported it. Yes, Mustafa, AI can make it easy. AI is waving, yes, but I have a question for you. For those who are reliant on AI, right? If you do a job interview and AI is not allowed during your skills test, what would you do? That's something to always think about, no? AI really makes our lives easier. AI, like this data set, I generated this via AI, but in terms of the skills itself, if one day AI ceases to exist, or probably that's impossible because we're really in the AI age now. But if you go into a job interview and AI is not allowed, you're asked to clean a data like this live, what would you do? Right? So it's really just, AI makes it easier for us, but it's not 100% of the time that we can go ahead and use AI. Okay. So here, I hope you can see, I found it in my Canva. I haven't exported it yet, but this is what what I'm doing. Okay? Yes, Dix, the company limits their growth when it comes to advancement. It's not really limiting the growth, but the company, during job interview, the company actually wants to know what you actually know. Okay, and then once you start doing the job, once you put one foot at the door, then that's the time that you can put in automations, everything about that, but only if you know the basics, right? So yeah, maybe this live session is not for everyone, but since we're teaching the basics, and trying to do it one step at a time without shortcuts, then please stay. Yeah, you can learn, but how would you prompt AI, if you don't actually know what you need to do, right? So, and again, guys, AI is actually dependent on what you input in it. AI is dependent in what you input in it. So if you do not know what to do, what to input, what to prompt AI with, then it's just another Google search, right? It's just another, you cannot ask it to do something that you do not know also. Okay, so this is what I was speaking about. We have prepared this simple data formula cheat sheet, if you will, and we're distributing this for free. I haven't exported it yet, but yeah, this is what you see here, text and data cleaning, right? And these are some of the formulas that you can use. We will use today trim, to remove extra spaces. Today we will use substitute. If we want to substitute anything, like remember the email .con versus .com, we're gonna use text, right? We're gonna use text split, text join. I know we have left and right here as well. Okay, here. Left, okay. Extracts characters from the start of a text string, great for prefixes like INVPO, EMP. Remember our dataset. In our dataset, we have prefix like E or EMP, right? And if we want to extract the prefix, then that is what we're gonna use. If you actually know what prefix you want to get, then left is what you're gonna use. But this time, we want to extract the final 4 digits of the employee ID. Right? And so we're not gonna use left. We're gonna use right. Okay? We're gonna use right. So right, it extracts the characters from the end of a text string. Alright? We want to get the last digits, the last 4 digits, and that is what we're gonna do. Okay? So, we're gonna do the right formula, right? Text, this one, we need to select whichever it is that we want, the cell that we want to extract. Okay? Yes, Dix, correct. And we've mentioned it earlier as well. We did, we actually observed the data before trying to jump into the formulas. Yeah. So for those who just joined, thank you, Dix, for the reminder. But for those who just joined, we have observed earlier that our employee ID is actually consistent with the 4 last digits, right? So that is what we're trying to do right now. We want to extract the 4 last digits and then we'll check the duplicates from there. Because again, we've mentioned this earlier, in most of organizations, employee ID is the singular, unique identifier assigned to each and every one of its employees. Okay? So we're gonna use how many numbers or how many characters you want to extract. Right here is the prompt, if you can see in my screen. Right? So we want to extract the last 4 digits from the end. Okay? So from the end, what Excel will do is it will count 4. Okay, because we inputted 4. Alright, and then just close the formula with the closing parenthesis. Hit enter. It gives you only the last 4 digits. Okay, how did we arrive here? Okay, for those who just joined, how did we arrive here? We were trying to find out duplicates. And before we cleanse everything, all of the data, we want to remove the duplicates first. It's part of the cleansing, right? And your employee ID, earlier we have applied conditional formatting. It's one way to find duplicates. And this is the second way that I'm actually teaching you all. Okay? You see here, the actual original data is inconsistent. You have prefixes like E, you have EMP, you have those without prefixes, you even have a blank row. Oops. You even have a blank row. Right? So what we did is I wanted to remove first those prefixes to focus on the actual identifier because that is just a prefix. Right? So we want to use this. Again, if you want, you can go ahead and filter. Okay, again, filter is Control-Shift-L, or you can go data and then go click filter. And this time, you can go ahead and filter it out. Earlier, what we did is we did one by one. I showed you one by one. Okay, 1006 is here, 1006 is here. You can remove it one by one. It's up to you. Okay? If your data set is small, you can do it like that. You can remove it one by one. And as you notice, if I delete the employee ID, you see here, 1028 and 1028. I will clear this one. I will delete. And then the red fill disappears. Because then it becomes a unique value. It's not a duplicate anymore. And again, you can do that if your data set is small. But what if your data set is like this? It's big. It's as big as this one. then you don't want to manually remove the duplicates, right? What you can do is to highlight the column and ask Excel to remove the duplicates for you. Okay? So what we're gonna do is go back to data, highlight the column once more. Once we're sure that it's all, we use the right formula, we extracted the 4 last digits, go ahead and click on remove duplicates. Okay, it's up to you what you want to use, but it's easier for us, since this data set is big, that we want to use the out of the box Excel solutions. Okay, let's unselect all, only click unique ID, right? And click on OK. Now it prompted us that there is 9 duplicate values found and remove 251 unique values remain. Let's double check. If they are still red, they're still red. Okay, why are there still red items? If we remove the duplicate, why is there red items? Anyone who knows the answer? Can you type it in the chat box, please? If you know the answer, why we left some duplicates? Let me just fix my headband. No answers in the chat box? Okay. It is because of this blank row. No, we did not. Yes, but we removed. Yes, exactly. Almatrushi, correct answer. Thank you. It's because of this blank row. Okay, so if we remove the blank row, just go ahead and delete row. And once again, run the remove duplicates. Let's select all. Okay, how do we remove the duplicates? Again, you can remove it one by manually deleting the data, or you can just use this out of the box Excel solution, which is remove duplicates. Okay, unselect all, check the column which contains the duplicate values, click OK. It says no duplicate values found. Why? Why is it like that? Why? Let's see. Do you really have 1085 duplicate? Do you really have 1085 as a duplicate? No? Okay, let's see guys Let's see. Let's add another column, and if your company really wants you to add a prefix like E or M, you can standardize it now, and then we'll check if we have duplicates at the time. Okay? Now, we're learning another formula. So far, we have learned filter, removing duplicates, using the right formula. Now, we're trying to learn the text join. You can use text join 2 different ways. You can use concat. Before it's named concatenate. Now it's concat. It's basically the same thing. Okay. You can use concat. Text 1 will prompt you to select what is your text 1. And this time, let's standardize. I want EMP dash and then text 2. Okay. This is what you're actually, I clicked on enter, so it filled it down. One thing, if you look here in our formula box, okay, this is concat formula. Another formula that you can use, let me delete that one, is text join. Or using the ampersand sign. You know the ampersand sign? I'll type it in the chat box. This one. Okay. The way to use the ampersand sign is just, again, type your prefix or whatever it is that you want to join together. Put the ampersand sign and the cell that you want to attach to whatever it is, right? So if you click enter, it produces the same thing. So it's actually 2 different ways achieving one final outcome. Okay, if you're gonna ask me which one I do use, I use the ampersand, the text join formula, or this is what you call text join. The other one that we used earlier, we've shown earlier, is concat. Okay, it works the same way, but if you're gonna personally ask me what I actually use this one, ampersand. Okay, now let's try to clear. You see here, it's also highlighted. Why? Because it's checking for duplicates. Let us clear. You might hear my okay, so let us clear the conditional formatting, clear rules from this entire sheet, and let us put it here in column 1. Okay, now you see there's no duplicates. We're sure that there are no duplicates, and we have standardized employee ID. It might seem like a lot of steps, but it actually gets easier once you start practicing it and applying it on a day-to-day basis. Okay, how did we get from here? How did we get from this unstandardized employee ID to this standardized and without duplicates employee ID column? Right? So one problem down. One problem down. How do we remove the formulas so we can delete those columns that we do not need? Okay, we have 2 formulas right here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna highlight those columns, copy, and paste as values. This one right here. If you're seeing the screen, this is how you remove formulas in Microsoft Excel. Copy it and paste it as values. That's one of the fastest ways that you can remove the formulas. Now I can delete these 2 columns, and we are left with a cleansed employee ID column. Okay, it's habit. I'm used to pressing Control S whenever I do something, so forgive me for that. Next, full name. Okay, full name. Based on our formula cheat sheet for text and data cleaning, we can use trim. Where is the trim? Okay, the trim formula removes extra spaces, okay, leading, trailing spaces, and repeated spaces inside the text. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use trim. Okay, to clean the full name, we're gonna use 2 formulas. Alright, trim, and then we're gonna standardize the text cases. So again, we're gonna insert a new column. Okay, we're gonna do trim, type trim, equal sign, and then trim. I hope you're following still. Select the text, press enter. One way to do it is like that. And then next is proper. Oh, plus proper. No, we need inside proper. Okay, what does proper do? What does proper do? I think we have proper here already. This one. Upper, lower, and proper. It's also part of the text and data cleaning formulas. If you want your text cases to be in the uppercase, all capital, all caps, you will use upper. If you want it all to be in the lower case, you will use lower. And if you want it to be in proper case is actually, it's not really sentence case, but what it does is it capitalizes every word. So that is the proper. That is proper. Okay? Alright. So let's use proper here. Type proper, select your text, and then close with the closing parenthesis. You will see here that those previously, if you look at this row, the one, let's use focus cell. Okay, this one. The one that is previously written in all caps is now written in the proper case. For names, it capitalizes every start of the word. Okay, again, we will remove the formula. Yeah, for those who just joined, please share the live. Okay. So far, what we have done is we have cleaned and standardized employee ID. And now we're trying to clean and standardize the name for full names, right? So we have used the proper formula. It's, again, for those who just joined, it's part of data cleansing. Formula. Okay, it's written in the correct sentence, but you see here, we still, if let's bigger. If you see here, we still have, okay, let's remove the formulas. Again, copy and then paste as values, or on your keyboards, Alt ESV. Okay, you see here, values. That will remove the formula. Okay, what I'm trying to say is we have converted it into a proper case, but you will still see there's an additional space inside. Right? Remove blank. Hello. Hi. So what are we gonna do? First, let us use trim. Okay, let's insert another column so you see the differences between each formula. Let us use trim to remove trailing spaces at the beginning or at the end. At the beginning, at the end, or here. Middle. See? What does trim do? Let's go back to our cheat sheet. If you want to receive this cheat sheet, please message us, send us a DM, and then we will send it to you. It's absolutely free. No need to pay anything. We're giving this for free. Okay, removes extra spaces, leading trailing spaces, and repeated spaces inside the text. That is what trim does. Okay, so now you can see we have converted it from a messy case to a proper case, and then we have removed the extra spaces inside the text itself. Okay? So see here, you have several. Now you have only one. Oops. Now you have only one space, and this is the correct format. So we have cleaned the name as well. Now what we're gonna do, as always, remove the formulas so you can delete those that you do not need. Okay? Name this as full name. Alright? No user 561-355-819-6238. No, we don't have Power BI lectures or Power BI for now. Yes. Okay. Tinskiten, yes, please message us, DM us, and then I'll share it with you. Okay. Full name. Okay, next we go to email address. Okay, I think we can go ahead and finish until mobile number. All right, and then we'll wrap up part 1. Then we'll schedule another live for the part 2 of our data cleansing. All right. Why? Because my laptop's battery is actually low currently. Yeah. Cannot charge it because my webcam is also, it's connected in the Type-C adapter. Okay. Next is email address. Do you have questions regarding employee ID and full name? How we arrived at this? We have done so much already. And we are just in the 3rd column. Okay. As always, we will insert another column. Okay. Here, we're gonna use substitute. Again, we're gonna use two formulas. All email addresses, regardless of the domain that is used, they usually are all written in the lowercase. So that is the first formula that we will use. And then the second formula is, you see here, .con. We have to replace it with .com. Okay? But first, we need to check the data. Do you have, since this is since this is a test data for an organization, we are sure that the domain ends in @example.com. Okay? If this is a personal email address, then the way that you will clean it is basically, I would think, just, converting it into all lower cases. Because we're not sure if the domain is correct or no. Right? But in this example, since this is an organizational email address, we're sure that the domain is @example.com. Okay? So, that's one thing to keep in mind when cleaning email addresses. Alright? So, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use the lower formula. Lower. And then, select your text once more. It will once again convert like this. Fatima.cruz, written in all caps, it transforms it into the lower caps. Alright? That is what lower does. Okay. Now, we're gonna want to replace the incorrect domain with the correct domain. So, let's insert another column. You can nest these formulas, by the way. When we say nest, it means joining the formulas into one formula, right? But the approach that I'm taking here is I'm showing you how each of these formulas work. That is why we are adding columns and, trying to compare the differences, right? That is what we're doing here. Okay. We're gonna use substitute. The first prompt is the text. So you're gonna select the cell or whatever it is that you want to substitute. And then we're gonna do .con. This is the old text. Alright. And the next syntax is new text. So we want to replace it with .com actually. Okay? So, text, this is the text contains the cell or the cell address of whatever it is you want to change. Old text is the one that you want to replace. New text is the new one that you want to appear. Okay? Close it with a closing parenthesis. If you're wondering why we are putting quotation marks whenever we type text, it's because it is a text string. And for Excel to recognize it as a text string, we have to enclose it in quotation marks. If we don't, it will return an error. Okay? So when we click enter, you will see here, .con is now .com. Okay? Yes, them, WR, that is also one way. You can go ahead and use Control F. Okay, let's do that. So let's clear this one, for example. Control F, we're gonna get this little box right here. .con and replace with .com. Oops. .com. Okay. Find all. Replace all. You have Excel have made 26 replacements for you. That is actually one way of changing. Let's use the substitute formula again. There's actually nothing to substitute because it overwrites the data. Okay, it finds everything that is written as .con and then replaced it with .com, so you cannot use substitute anymore. Okay? Alright. So let us now, there's formula. Let us clean the formula. and delete. Email address. Alright? Oh, see? It's really force of a habit. I'm always saving data. Okay, next. Let's delete this one. We move to mobile number. Alright. And then, I think we will end here in the mobile number. Because my laptop is already low bat. At is missing in some emails. Thank you so much. Barista, yes, thank you. Okay. Thank you. Liggeron, Kusumi. This data for testing, you can generate it via AI. I have generated this via AI. You can generate it and then you can build the example by yourself. Okay. Alright, so how do we add at? See here? Example. It's actually not an email address. So how do we find it? Right? Yes, but if you want the text data formula, we can go ahead and send us a DM. I will send you I will send you the copy, the PDF copy. Again, it's absolutely free. I will not ask for anything. Just go ahead and send us a DM. I will send you the cheat sheet that I've been showing. But it will be in a Google Drive, guys, okay? Because I cannot really attach file in TikTok. I don't know if it's just me, if I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. Or probably it's really not native. Okay. Yes, thank you so much. Okay. How do we find data, or how do we find email addresses that does not have the at sign? Okay. Now, this is not well, it's also part of text and data cleaning, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the search function. Okay, search function, we want to find at example.com. Okay, there. Okay, 1 second, guys, let me see. Let's plug in our device. And join us on TikTok. We will continue in TikTok. For those in Facebook, please join us on TikTok.